happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to see this one, as we got our White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, coming out showing us that she is not the one. And what I mean by not the one is she is not the one to be messed around with, as she is now coming after the lunatics on the left, these Dems that proving that they have not learned their lesson from that devastating defeat. Yo, I'm excited to get into this one, so we're gonna hop straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Clearly, the Democrats learned nothing from their devastating defeat on November 5th, because this is exactly what the American people voted for. President Trump campaigned alongside Elon Musk, and President Trump promised voters on the campaign that he was going to make our government more efficiency. He came up with the idea of DOGE, and he told everybody in the world he would be appointing Elon Musk to cut through the waste, fraud, and abuse that has plagued our federal government for far too long and has ripped off hardworking taxpayers. And I think it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody that that's what Elon is doing at the direction of President Trump. The only surprise here is the vast amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that we have uncovered, and we are just getting started. And the Democrats are so incredibly out of touch. If you look at the public polling, 56% of the public supports President Trump's freeze on foreign aid. The most recent CBS poll shows that the vast majority of Americans support what President Trump is doing. In fact, his favorability rating has never been higher. So while the Democrats continue to hoot and holler in the streets, acting completely deranged, President Trump and Elon Musk and our entire administration are going to continue to go line by line and treat this federal government like a business. Money in, money out. And what do we actually need to spend money on to advance?
Come on now, money in, money out. What do we need to spend our money on? Stop wasting our tax dollars. And we need to really pay attention to these folks. Like she said, the Democrats are, enraged. They're screaming in the streets right now because of what Donald Trump, Elon Musk get done as far as, the Department of Government Efficiency, going line by line, making sure that there isn't wasteful spending within our federal government. And those folks who are hollering the loudest, like Elizabeth Warren, Maxine Waters, got to pay attention to them because they know where the bodies are.
Money in, money out. And what do we actually need to spend money on to advance America's interests? That is our goal here. That's all that's happening. Anything else is fear mongering by the left because they don't have a real message and they're deranged. There's no other way to put it.
And you're right about the president's approval rating. 70% of people in that very poll you referenced say all the president's doing is what he promised. This is how the American people describe President Trump: tough, energetic, focused, effective, all of which is true. And now
and all of which you cannot. I mean, energetic, able to be a true leader. Think about our prior leader, Joe Biden, because he was not a true leader. I mean, like, it's night and day, the stark contrast comparison between the two. This is why we voted this guy in the office. These folks, these crazy Dems on the left, they need to move out the way. The Trump derangement syndrome has to give.
Effective, all of which is true. And now we find out that in spite of the president's executive action, that FEMA sent $59 million last week to pay for luxury New York City hotels, in spite of the order. What actions are available for the president at this point? We have Tom Homan on in a minute.
Well, I know that Secretary Noem and her team have confirmed that all those who were involved in hitting send on that $59 million payment against the president's executive orders and his agenda will be terminated. And I know Tom Homan, I'll let him speak on it, my dear colleague and friend, has very strong feelings about those who continue to leak information about ICE's deportation efforts. We are not going to allow rogue bureaucrats in this city to obstruct the will of the American people. Again, President Trump was elected on a mandate to implement the policies that he promised. Mass deportations, cutting fraud and abuse out of our federal government, lowering inflation, and restoring peace around this world. And our entire team is focused on delivering on those priorities. President Trump is working at a breakneck speed, and there are obstructionists who are trying to block his agenda, but we are going to continue moving ahead, and anybody who tries to block the will of the American people will face consequences for that.
Wow. Well, that's pretty refreshing to hear that these rogue Democratic officials, figures that are coming out trying to block, get in the way of what Donald Trump is getting done or trying to get done, or are going to be held accountable for their actions. I'm glad to see that all those folks who end up pressing the button on the illegal migrant housing in New York, once again from FEMA, are going to be terminated. Now we need to see some investigation into their actions. Let's hold these folks truly accountable for their actions. I feel like firing isn't enough.
Well, let me go back to where I was with Eric Trump, and that is the Democrats, they want to double down on men and women's sports and protecting those unvetted Biden-Harris illegals in the country, including known terrorists, rapists, murderers, gang members, cartel members, which is insane. I scroll all of the billions of dollars in waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. Then, you know, you want to talk about thievery. The people they're stealing from by abusing taxpayer money are the taxpayers. And if this is where the Democratic Party is, you couple that with who they elected the leadership of the DNC, how does that help them in the future? Is this the agenda they think the American people want?
I don't think it helps them at all. So I hope that they keep saying the things they are saying and protesting outside of these federal government buildings that have been, again, ripping off the American taxpayers. I mean, you had Senator Chris Coons, Democratic senator, actually defending sending millions of dollars to Iraq to fund a Sesame Street program. I bet you the vast majority of Americans don't want their tax dollars going to funding Sesame Street in Iraq. What does that do for hardworking American families who have been struggling with the cost of living because of the Biden-Harris administration? It does nothing. And President Trump is restoring common sense, not just to Washington, D.C., not just to the United States of America, but to the entire world. And you're already seeing the effects of that ring. And the American people are very happy with what President Trump is doing at that White House every single day.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
In the media.
Well, I love my job very much, and I love speaking the truth. And I'll tell you, Sean, they are loving the access and the transparency that they are receiving from President Trump in our White House. He did another press conference in the Oval Office today. And even those that don't like him will tell you that they like the truth and the transparency. And it's a breath of fresh air after the past 4 years of lies from the previous administration.
Yo, there we have it, guys. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt breaking it down for us, and she talks about refreshing, guys. This is definitely a breath of fresh air when it comes to the amount of truth and transparency throughout this entire administration. Frankly, we're seeing with Donald Trump, Elon Musk, his DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. He is everything that he's sniffing out, he is releasing straight to the public. We're not having to squeeze the truth out of anyone. It's not delayed. It's almost instantaneous. We're getting it reported straight to us, and it's accessible to everyone across the nation, especially when it comes to our White House press secretary, the youngest ever, by the way, to do it, Karoline Leavitt. She's saying that, hey, I'm bringing the truth to everyone. I know they've got to enjoy that. She's even saying that Donald Trump's enemies, the folks that hate him the most in the media, are still happy with the change, the contrast and difference between him and Joe Biden. You know, he's just so accessible. If you need the information, it's right there in front of you. You don't have to go hunting someone down that's on vacation the majority of the time. It's a great feeling to have, knowing that you're going to get true, real answers. No matter if you like it or not, the truth is coming out. That's one thing I can say this administration is excelling on, is the transparency, getting information out there in a timely fashion to the American people. That's what we asked for. This is exactly what we're voting for. What we're seeing, these folks crying about Elon Musk, they're crying about their change. They need to get out of the way. All these rogue lunatics on the left, they ought to get out of the way now, because if they continue try to stop or impede the process, guess what? We're seeing lots of consequences, recourse for their actions coming, guys. But definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one week.